Yep, if you read the title, I am going to commentate on this recent round of non-Disney versus Marvel villains, round 3. And yeah, just in case if anyone who has watched most of my fan commentaries on Disney versus Marvel villains, or non-Disney versus DC villains, or the Disney versus DC villains, that I've said many times that I only like Marvel and DC movies. I'm not into the comics, I'm not into the TV shows, not even their cartoons. Save for a few exceptions. So, mostly because I had to commentate this one because there are some, well, it's mostly the non-Disney characters that might appear, for their first time appearing, each of them probably. And also, I think Fattest Caddis has Delamon being her co-creator of this war. Well, better him than me, because he probably knows more about Marvel than I do. My only knowledge of them are from the movies, and X-Men Evolution, and the Spectacular Spider-Man. That's it. But the non-Disney ones, it kind of makes me a bit iffy on him, because he often tries to put characters from the worst heroes and villains wherever into the non-Disney segment, or try to be forceful when suggesting things. Very exaggerated, I know. So, it just doesn't get me worried on the non-Disney Delamon would have to do. So, that out of the way, so let's get this going. So, we start off with the prologue. We see the Kingpin has broken out these Spider-Man villains out of prison, and promises to aid him in this war. And yeah, you guys know I like the Spectacular Spider-Man more because, well, technically it is Spider-Man. The Spectacular Spider-Man is Marvel's answer to Batman the Animated Series. So, well, with this 90s Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s, this one, it's just way too cheesy. So, I understand it's probably just used for the footages or just make something, but I just hope we might, after you use all the footages, there might be a chance they be turned into the Spectacular Spider-Man versions. And then we see what, so, Craven and his wife Calypso are recruited by Eric Killmonger. I thought, wait, that's Eric Killmonger? In this outfit? The one I know is from the Black Panther movie. That movie I haven't seen since it's been like a long time since I've seen it. What I get is that Eric Killmonger basically has a personality. He's not all like very generic evil. I mean, he's kind of vendetta against the main character's father, who killed his father. Well, he's technically the cousin to the Black Panther, the hero. And he's all like, "What's up?" Like, that's kind of a cool personality, in my opinion. So they're recruited by Eric Killmonger and his Shadow Council. And then we see an interesting suggestion that Delamon suggests is that this Belladonna would be Boo Boo's wife. Interesting, but also because in the original Kimba the White Lion, she wasn't Boo Boo's wife. She was like a lion pet, or a pet to this huntress, I think. It was to this. She was basically helping the hunters, something like that. I'll leave the link down below, because it has been a long time since I've seen some episodes of Kimba, the original one. I think I saw the one with the Canadian dub. So, Boo Boo's wife joins Boo Boo's alliance. Joins his team. So then we see the Snow Queen and Emperor Frostkill return to Frostkill's base, and the Snow Queen decides to take on a new form. Well, ever since Zoe's multiform is now its own thing, now she's going to turn into this version of the actual non-Disney Snow Queen, and decides to test her powers by testing it on these two buffoony henchmen, the wolf and the weasel, I think that is. And then we see this dude, the Beyonder. I don't know much about the Beyonder. The only thing I get is that he's like a world merger. Or the multiverse merger. He's a dude who can merge realms or something like that, if I get it. I don't know him entirely because I don't watch Marvel cartoons. Well, except for X-Men Evolution and the Spectacular Spider-Man. So, I only know of him from Disney vs. Marvel Villains, Part 3. And if you guys wonder about Part 3, because you know it's already been canceled because GA Villain has lost his muse. So, it's kind of a scrap. It's not connected. Part 3 is not canon. So, the official canon is, well, the one I usually go onto the playlist just to know which is the canon line, is both the remastered of Disney vs. Marvel Villains round, Part 1 series that is remastered, and all the original rounds of Disney vs. Marvel Villains Part 2, and with round 13 is the true final chapter. So it's the ending. Part 3 is not canon, but Disney vs. Marvel Villains Part 2, round 13 is the real final round. So I'm just saying. And the only thing I get is that he's the one who kind of merged the Disney universe and the Marvel universe into one just to see the conflicts. So I guess in this series, well, I guess Delamon kind of suggests that Disney versus Marvel Villains, the Part 3 timeline has been destroyed by the Beyonder because he's like bored or something like that, or whatever he did with it. So the Beyonder is looking at the events that have been occurred and decided to make his plans. I guess he's watching the entire fights. Makes you wonder if he has a computer to watch them on YouTube. I'm just asking. For the Beyonders, I mean. Okay, and now for the first fight, we got the Professor Screw Eyes and Puppetino versus the Ringmaster. So, Professor Screw Eyes and Puppetino have decided to open up their carnival. You know, they're just opening up their carnival. But this dude, the Ringmaster, wants to join them, of course, you know, Screw Eyes and Puppetino. But they just don't want him in their group, so now piss off, dude. And he sticks his line after the Ringmaster. And, of course, he's going to use a hypnotism on that lion. And so, I don't know much about the Ringmaster. The only thing I know of him is from Disney vs. Marvel Villains. And that's it. The one where he fought Sarouche. That's my only knowledge of where I know him from. It almost like he's got that giant snake. I'd be freaked out too if I saw it. Oh, he just smashed his music box. And I can tell by that footage. I think that's from the Tarzan episode. So was there not enough footage for the snake that has to get all tangled up like this? Or did you just use it just for the sake of the footage? I'm just asking. Again, not a Marvel cartoon guy. Oh, I guess he's free from the trap. Like, well, I'm out of here. Look into my eyes. Oh, now Screw Eyes is going to put that snake under his control. Now the snake is under Screw Eyes' control. And bon appetit. You certainly are. So, Professor Screw Eyes and Puppetino wins, and now for the next fight is Drake versus the Rhino. So, actually, these things are squaws. They're the type of birds, so what is common is that they would attack penguins and they would eat their chicks. Hey, Animal Kingdom, what do you expect? But it is, I would say it's kind of interesting that Drake would hang around with these dudes. The squaws, I mean. So, I wonder what's he doing not being with Napoleon, that's my question. So, yeah, so, how'd it go again? So Rhino runs afoul of the muscular penguin who challenges him. I guess when he's out of the prison, he decides to challenge this masculine penguin. So this fight, I say, is a very interesting one. Basically because you got... It would be cool, but it just looks like a guy in a Halloween costume. A muscular guy in a rhino outfit facing off against a very muscular penguin. Huh. Because they both have the same strength comparisons, I guess. Yeah, I just love the editing with this whole fight. It's like they're actually, actually beating up with each other. Huh. Push him off the edge of the stairs. Well, knock him off. Oh, there he is. Ouch! And he crushes Drake, so the Rhino wins. And now for the next fight is Sharptooth versus Sauron. Oh, that weird pterodactyl dude who goes around wearing shorts. So Sauron, wanting to make his move in the war, tries to find any dinosaurs. Hold on. Looks for dinosaurs to enslave, and he finds Sharptooth. And looks like there's gonna be a tough one. So I don't know anything about Sauron. The only thing I know of him is from Disney vs. Marvel Villains Part 2, and that's it. Hey! It's time for a battle of the T-Rex! I mean, seriously, how cool is it to see a battle between two T-Rexes? So, does this T-Rex from Marvel have a name, or is it just a Tyrannosaurus Rex? Although, when I finally get to watch Land Before Time, I thought Sharptooth was like his actual name. But no, they actually stated that's a type of species he is. All because he has these teeth. Really? Weird, but okay. Oh, looks like Sauron's got some reinforcements. Yeah, I just don't care for these characters. I was just kind of rooting for Sharptooth. And looks like he's trapped. And hold on. Okay, when I first heard his voice, I thought, wait, is that how he sounds? He sounds like Smeagol from The Lord of the Rings. You know, Gollum, the one of my precious. I mean, he kind of sounds like that. Is that the same voice actor? That was strange. Oh, now Sauron has Sharptooth under his control. First we got Professor Screw-Eye saying, look into my eyes. And now we got Sauron saying, look into my eyes. Two fights in this round that says the same thing. So Sauron wins. The next fight is the Sea Witch versus Atuma, suggested by me. So the Sea Witch wants to challenge Atuma for control over the ocean. I just suggested this fight because it just sounds... It's the only thing I could think of. I don't know anything about Atuma. I only know him from Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I played that game, that's a game I did play, so that's the only thing I did know of him. Not entirely about him. And only from Disney versus Marvel Villains also, and that's just it. Okay, interesting switching from the 90s cartoon to this modern version. I just don't know where that's from. Man, they're decapitating her minions. And they're, woo, we'll be thrown away. Was that shark from Felix the Cat? I could be wrong, is that it? And I don't know what these... I don't think I recognize that shark is from, neither the hammerhead shark. I can't recognize them where they're from. Oh, she knocks him down, and I think I'm going to stop right here. So see you guys in the next part of this commentary.